So take a few minutes to practice with your neighbors, with everyone around you. Make sure we're all on the same page. You're just going to evaluate each of these functions. So you can see that your functions are listed up here. You have f of x, we have g of x, and we have h of x. And then we ask you for each one. So we ask you to find h right here. We ask you to find g right there, g of 6. And we ask you to find f of 2 right here. So take a second to actually practice those out. And then once you have, you'll be able to answer question D. So press pause and give that a shot. All right. So you should have been able to simplify here. And when you did that, you were plugging in 2. So you should have had 2 squared plus 3. That ends up giving you 9. Oh, excuse me, not 9. That gives you 4 plus 3, which is 7. Okay, so we have 4 plus 3 equals 7. So there we go. There's our final one there. For g of 6, be very careful with g of 6. You're going to have a negative 2, parentheses, negative 6 in the parentheses there, squared, minus 1. And when you simplify that, we do exponents first. And exponents first gives me 36. So, and then negative 2 times 36, I'll write that down, negative 2 times 36 minus 1 ends up giving me negative 73 because we had negative 72. Right here is negative 72. Negative 72 minus 1, negative 73. So that's what I get when we evaluate h of 4. And then last but not least, excuse me, g of 6. Last but not least, h of 4. A little bit easier, if you ask me. 3 times 4 plus 4, right? So pretty easy to plug that one in. Up to 12 plus 4 is 16. So now that you've got all three, notice what it says here. Add them all together. So you're just taking all of those and adding them together. So pretty self-explanatory. What I want to spend some more time on, though, is this last question, because this last question really makes you think about how domain and range play a role here. So remember, your domain is all of your x values, and your range, pardon for that, the range is all of your y values. So it's really important that we're now finding our y values given the range. So let's think about how we use our domain. So here's what we're doing. You right here, you have your equation f of x, and then it says, this is something that's not challenging, but the wording is weird. It says the domain is this. This is your domain. These are your x values. So you essentially have to find f of 1, then f of 2, then f of 3, and f of 4. And when you find all of those, it then actually tells you every single one of them is going to match one of these guys here. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in, we'll start with 1. If we plug in f of 1, 1 times negative 1.5 is negative 1.5. Negative 1.5 plus 4 gives me negative 2.5. So we have to have a negative 2.5 in my range. So this first one doesn't have a negative 2.5. That's positive. So that's not it. So we can get rid of option A. For the second one, we plug in 2. I think you get the idea now. That's going to give me negative 3. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. None of them have a 1 except for the last one. So there you go. You didn't have to do all the work. You got your answer just by plugging in 2 of those. So the domain, you find that you have the domain. It's given to you. You plug them in one at a time, and that finds your range. All right. Good work. Keep up the good work.